The surname at number 1 doesn't just tell you which region of Mexico your family came from, it tells you they were hunted by the Inquisition, hid their faith for generations, and on December 8, 1596, the Spanish crown burned them alive in Mexico City's main square. 10 surnames, 10 regions, 10 bloodlines, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where yours ranks. Forget the common names. Hernández, García, López are Spanish colonial patronymics, scattered everywhere, they reveal nothing. The 10 on this list encode geography, trauma, and bloodline. Stay until number 1. Number 10 is Garza. If your last name is Garza, you almost certainly trace to one man, Marcos Alonso de la Garza, a settler from Lepe in Andalusia, who arrived in northeastern New Spain and helped establish Monterrey in the early 1600s. He married a woman named Juana de Trevino, and together they became something genealogists rarely see, a single founding couple whose descendants now number in the hundreds of thousands. Garza is the most common surname in Nuevo León, and that dominance is not coincidence. It is a genetic bottleneck. Nearly every Garza in northern Mexico shares the same colonial ancestor, the same frontier village, the same founding bloodline. Number 9 on this list is Trevino, and its origin story is the same story you just heard, only told through the mother. Juana de Trevino, wife of Marcos Alonso de la Garza, did not see her surname vanish into her husband's. Several of their sons carried her name instead, an unusual custom that preserved the maternal line as a parallel dynasty. Therefore, Garza and Trevino are not two separate families in Nuevo León. They are one founding couple, split along gendered lines, multiplied across 4 centuries. If you carry either surname in Monterrey, Saltillo, or the borderlands, you are descended from that same colonial bedroom in the early 1600s. Number 8 is Juárez, and it carries you to Oaxaca. Benito Juárez was born on March 21, 1806, in San Pablo Guelatao, a village of fewer than 20 Zapotec families high in the Sierra Norte. He spoke no Spanish at all until age 12, when he walked to Oaxaca City to work as a household servant. From that monolingual Zapotec boy emerged the first indigenous president of Mexico, a man who abolished clerical privilege and defeated a French-imposed emperor. Juárez as a surname is not unique to Oaxaca, but its cultural weight is. Carry it, and you inherit the linguistic and political memory of the Zapotec highlands. If your surname carries hidden history, whether colonial trauma, indigenous roots, or a founding bloodline, subscribe for more videos that decode the stories your name has been keeping. Genealogy is archaeology, and your family is the dig site. Number 7 groups, 3 Maya surnames that still echo across Yucatan: Balam, Canul, and Pech. Balam means jaguar in Yucatec Maya, the sacred predator of kings and night. Canul marks descent from the Canul, the guardian warriors who ruled a province in western Yucatan until the Spanish entrada. Pech traces to the lineage of Zapotec, the Maya house that controlled the lands around modern Mérida before 1542. These are not Spanish impositions. They are pre-Hispanic dynastic markers that survived baptism, encomienda, and 4 centuries of erasure. If your surname is Balam, Canul, or Pech, your ancestors did not arrive in Yucatan. They built it. Number 6 is Shu, the priestly dynasty of Mayapan. The Shu were water priests, custodians of the rain ceremonies that kept the peninsula alive in drought years. In 1536, during a punishing dry season, a Shu delegation set out on pilgrimage to Chichen Itza to perform rites to the rain god Chak. They had to cross the territory of a rival Maya house, which granted them safe passage, then ambushed and slaughtered them at the village of Otzmal. The Shu never forgot. In 1542, they allied with the Spanish at the founding of Mérida, helping conquer the very peninsula they had once ruled as lords. Revenge wore a cross. Number 5 is Cocom, and Cocom is the house that pulled the trigger at Otzmal. The Cocom were the ruling dynasty of Mayapan, the great walled capital that dominated Yucatan until 1441, and later the lords of Sotuta. The word means listener in Yucatec Maya. In 1536, their leader Nachi Kokom, born around 1510, granted that fatal safe passage to the Shu pilgrims and then massacred them. He spent the next 6 years organizing armed Maya resistance against the conquistadors, but was defeated at Tijo, modern Mérida, in 1542 and baptized as Juan Kokom. The surname Cocom carries both the throne of Mayapan and the blood of Otzmal. Number 4 is Alvarado, and Alvarado is written in Tenochtitlan's blood. On May 22, 1520, while Hernán Cortés was away on the coast, Pedro de Alvarado commanded the Spanish garrison inside the Aztec capital. The nobility had gathered unarmed in the great temple to celebrate the festival of Toxcatl. Alvarado ordered the exit sealed and the dancers cut down. The Toxcatl Massacre turned the entire city against the Spanish and triggered the war that ended the Aztec Empire. Alvarado's descendants and soldiers settled across central and southern Mexico, especially Veracruz, Puebla, and Chiapas. The surname spread with the conquest itself, carried by those who survived. Number 3 is Guzman, and the man behind its expansion into western Mexico is one of the cruelest conquistadors on record. On February 14, 1530, Nuño Beltrán de Guzman seized Tangaxuan II, the last king of the Purépecha Empire of Michoacán. He had the monarch tortured, dragged behind a horse, and burned alive on the bank of the Lerma River, ending a kingdom that had successfully resisted even the Aztecs. From that atrocity, Guzman carved out Nueva Galicia, the territory that became Jalisco, Nayarit, and Zacatecas. The surname clustered there as his soldiers and bureaucrats took land grants. Guzman in western Mexico is the executioner's signature. Number 2 is Moctezuma, and the surname is alive, not in Mexico but in Spain. After Tenochtitlan fell, the Spanish crown treated the daughters and grandchildren of Moctezuma II as legitimate royalty. On November 6, 1627, King Philip IV created the title Count of Moctezuma for Pedro Tesifon Moctezuma de la Cueva, a great-grandson of the emperor. In 1865, Queen Isabella II elevated the line to Duke of Moctezuma de Tultengo, referencing Tultengo, a town in Hidalgo that belonged to Moctezuma's family inheritance. In 1992, King Juan Carlos Tromar restored the de Tultengo qualifier. The current duke lives in Spain as a grandee. Aztec imperial blood negotiated survival through European nobility. Number 1 is Carvajal. The Carvajal family arrived at the port of Tampico in 1580 under the governorship of Luis de Carvajal y de la Cueva, who founded the Nuevo Reino de León. They were conversos, Iberian Jews who had been forced to convert to Catholicism but secretly continued to practice Judaism. The Inquisition followed. On December 8, 1596, in the largest auto da fe in New Spain's history, Luis de Carvajal the Younger, his mother Francisca, and his sisters Catalina, Isabel, and Leonor were burned at the stake in Mexico City's main square. Before he died, Luis wrote a hidden memoir under the Hebrew pseudonym Joseph Lumbroso. It is the earliest known writing by a Jew in the Americas. The manuscript vanished from a Mexican archive in the 1930s, and in 2016 it resurfaced at auction in New York and was returned to Mexico. The surname Carvajal in Nuevo León carries that exact weight: hidden faith, public fire, and a voice that refused to be silenced even by flame. Drop your surname below. Did it appear on this list, or do you know which region of Mexico it traces to? Share the story behind your name, the one your family actually tells. The 10 most common Mexican surnames are Spanish colonial noise, patronymics that erased regional memory by spreading everywhere at once. But the rare ones, the ones that ranked on this list, tell the real story. They are either indigenous, marking pre-Hispanic polities like Mayapan, Sotuta, and Guelatao, or tied to a single founding family on a frontier, like Garza and Trevino in Monterrey, or Carvajal in the Converso North. So if your surname appeared here, you now know which region built it and which century paid the price. Share yours below. The next video traces the indigenous place names hiding inside Mexican geography itself. If this video rewrote how you see your surname, save it and share it with someone who needs to know where their name really comes from.